Alright, we are back. I have a little bit of time before I go back to work, so I don't know if we're going to finish the case, but this looks to be the last day of the trial. So, let's see what we uncover. I know that there are some things, like the payoffs and stuff like that, we don't quite know about yet. And he's got 5 Cyclops we haven't gotten through, which we'll have to... The ship's doctor and Azura were romantically involved?
No?
Well, that's my theory, but I don't actually know if it's really true. I guess you didn't know. Azura would never get involved with a god-awful ship's doctor. But I do admit they were friends. But would Azura send Dr. Crab videos, I wonder? Videos? What do you mean? Azura used to send her boyfriend videos of herself teaching the Orca tricks. I used to help Azura take the videos on her TV phone. This is an interesting bit of information. And that probably explains how he was able to manipulate the Orca. So TV phones can shoot videos too, huh? My dumb phone sure can't. These TV phones are amazing. They can even record sounds you and I can't hear. All the equipment we use at Shipshape Aquarium is high-tech. The ship's doctor sends away for all kinds of electronics. So all the high-tech stuff is Dr. Crab's doing, huh? Anyway, I still highly doubt Azura's boyfriend was the ship's doctor. But Dr. Crab found a charm yesterday, and he was really shaken by it. Charm? Hey, leave that alone. That belonged to Azura. What was Azura's charm doing in Rifle's stomach? That charm looked just like your keepsake of Azura. Yeah, well, she did say she and her boyfriend had matching charms. Were the ship's doctor and Azura really a couple? I can't believe it. I think Dr. Crab will be called as a witness today. There are still so many unanswered questions, but I hope to solve them all in today's trial. I believe in you two. I know you can do it. And we will, Sasha, we promise. Court is now in session for the trial of Sasha Buckler. The defense is ready. Ah! Ready. Now I'm completely thrown off. Very good. It appears both the prosecution and the defense are ready. Yesterday it was proven that the Orca was not guilty and that the victim fell to his death. Prosecutor Blackquill, did your investigation of the Orca pool area turn up anything? It did. We found a bloodstain from the victim at the bottom of the pool. On this. Oh my, what a frightening looking rock. And you say it has a bloodstain on it? Just looking at it gives me the willies. So can we assume that there was no water in the pool at the time of the incident? Very good. What a clever little deduction. Ho ho, well it's nice to get a compliment from the prosecution for a change. Prosecutor Blackquill has completely tamed the judge with his carrot and stick approach. I guess I should have brought a few carrots of my own. Right, moving along, I have prepared a witness. Buckler was the only one who entered that room when there was no water in the pool. The witness will prove that. Come to the stand, witness. Is it already Dr. Crab? Yep.
I don't like his hair. And there's the penguin in it.
Yeah, the penguin's cute. Name and occupation? Dr. Herman Peep? Sniper, stay in there. And who is that cute little creature? Such a restless bird, quite unlike Taka.
She doesn't like Taka.
Wow, chop one up for Taka. He shut Sniper up with a single sound. Son of a gun. Dr. Herman Crab, Shipshape Aquarium's veterinarian. And could you tell us the name of your cute little friend there as well? Your Honor, please focus on the case. But it's important to learn all we can about the witness. This is Sniper. She's the offspring of a penguin named Rifle. Sniper lives in my hair. She might cause a commotion now and then, but please try to ignore her. I was originally going to call the animal keeper to the stand, but he refused to testify, so I settled on the veterinarian. Now tell us, why was the defendant... Did his eye just shine? Why was the defendant in the Orca pool room when the water was drained? In the early morning hours of July 20th, Sasha was cleaning the Orca pool room. Sasha and Jack Shipley, the owner, were scheduled to do the cleaning together. During cleaning, the pool water is drained. While the cleaning was going on, Marlon was taking care of the Orca in the show pool. The pool water would never be drained unless the pool was being cleaned. And your claim is that the victim was made to fall to his death during the cleaning. Only Buckler and the owner had the security card necessary to enter the Orca pool room, and we already know from the security company's record of card usage that the defendant was in the Orca pool room during the time of cleaning. The witness's testimony and the record of security card usage are conclusive evidence. So no one beside the defendant was at the scene, and the water in the pool was drained. The judge already seems to be leaning toward the other side. We have to strike fast. Your Honor, we're ready for our cross-examination now. Oh, yes, of course. Please proceed, then. The power of youth comes in handy at times like these. Yeah, Athena. Athena has, no fear of Blackwell.
We think there's an underlying reason for that.
Yes. Yes, we do.
And maybe she is, but she's just I'm not going to show it.
So there's one thing I want to see again.
Hold it!
Why is the cleaning done so early in the morning, essentially the middle of the night? Our aquarium is open every day of the year without break, so of course the cleaning has to be done at night when there are no visitors. No days off, is that it? I can relate to that. Yeah, I guess prisoners don't get to take days off. Things sure are different from us. You don't have to rub it in quite so enthusiastically. So was the defendant cleaning alone? No. Cleaning together. But Miss Buckler said that Mr. Shipley never showed up to help with the cleaning. I don't know anything about that. All I know is what was on the schedule. Maybe they changed plans. They probably felt awkward with each other after their fight. In any case, there's no proof the victim entered the Orca pool room during cleaning. Oh, he didn't say silence? If you don't stop your yammering, I will pull your tongue out and barbecue it.
Holy cow, that's,
Yeah.
violent.
Do you have to be so violent?
It's like Japanese Hannibal Lecter.
Oh dear. Proof or none, the victim must have entered the pool room during cleaning. Witness tell him why. Jack must have entered the Orca pool room. The reason I think so is because the record of card usage shows that Sasha entered the Orca pool room. Don't you mean to say that the record shows both of their cards being used? No, only Sasha's, but they must have gone in together. Jack's body was found in that room, so that's the only logical explanation. We talked about this just yesterday. What purpose does that brain of yours serve? Gak. You're even more bird brain than right. Witness, I will not allow birds to be belittled in my presence. Limit your disparaging comments to the defense alone. To the defense alone? So I get disparaged either way. Great.
It's weird, because both of these men really like birds, though.
Yeah. Bird lover, huh? I guess we're not destined to become best friends.
Wait, I thought you like birds too.
Well, I think he just likes the penguin, but even then, the penguin's all weird in his hair. That is fine. All I need is for you to talk about the state of the scene during cleaning. Alright, fine. Oh, I don't...
Got creepy side face.
I don't know. It's the weirdest face. I think the two of them were made for each other. He keeps pulling on a beard that's not there.
This is pointy chin.
I suppose so. So the cleaning is done with the pool drained of water. That's right, they used the hoist there to lower themselves to the bottom of the pool. They could do regular cleaning with water in the pool, but this was an intensive session. I never clean my own lab, however. Don't you think it might be due then? I guess I can't talk, though. Well, Sasha and Marlon come in and clean it for me on occasion. But I'm too busy myself. I have animals to look after, like this one, for example. Such an adorable little creature. It lends cheer to this bleak courtroom.
It is cute.
It is. Your reaction to Taka was very different, as I recall. Oh, Taka's a vine bird too, of course. Please continue, Dr. Crab. Quickly now. As I was saying, Shasta was cleaning the Orca pool room. While the cleaning was going on, Marlon was taking care of the Orca in the show pool. So Orla was moved all the way over to the show pool. Why is that? Well, it wouldn't do to get her covered in cleanser, would it? Of course she was moved. You don't take a bath while you're cleaning the tub, do you? Excellent point. I usually clean the tub after I take a bath myself. I was assigned to clean the shower stalls yesterday. They were cleaner than an Edo bathhouse by the time I was done. I guess Prosecutor Blackwell is the fastidious type. I polished it so well, I bet the inmates are slipping and sliding all over right about now. Maybe he's not so much the fastidious type as the prankster type. Somehow, I don't think that's it either. Anyway, cleaning the orca pool is just like cleaning the tub.
Hold it!
There's no possibility it would be drained at any time other than during cleaning. None. Ugh, shut down with a single word. Why are you so certain? Think about it. If the pool water were drained, what would happen to the orca? The poor thing. Whose side are you on, Athena? Exactly, young lady. Without water, Orla would be alright for a short period of time. But anything longer than that would pose serious risks. She could even die. So the fact that Orla is alive and well is proof that the water wasn't drained on her. That's right. The orca pool and the show stage pool are next door to each other. A hoist runs between the two to move the orca and equipment back and forth. When intensive cleaning is done, the orca is moved to the show stage pool first. So the water is only drained while the pool is being cleaned. Please add that information to your testimony.
Hold it!
I guess you're right. Son of a gun, then why did you harp on it so? The defense loves to make a fuss over nothing. You do like to stir up trouble, don't you, Mr. Lawyer? Just like this one. How rude, don't compare Mr. Wright to Sniper. Granted, his suit may make him look a little like a penguin. Athena, is that what she really thinks of me? Yeah, I wish Sniper and Miss Baby Chick would both stop all the peeping and cheeping. Miss Baby Chick, how dare you? No way, that actually sounds pretty cute. Wow, he just got away with calling a young woman a chick in court. Somehow, we have to show that the water could have been drained at some other time. If we don't, Sasha will be the only one under suspicion. There must be a hint somewhere. I better look through the evidence again. I have to find out how the water could have been drained while Orla was there. So let's look at what he added to his testimony.
But she was in there, remember?
I remember she was in there when the water was low.
Yeah, and she was crying because they gave her the sleeping pill or whatever.
Yeah. Well, this is a picture of there being, like, at least a little water. But that's not no water, but I feel like... I don't know.
I think it might be that.
Let's try it.
Objection!
Yeah! If the water in the pool is drained, you say the orca could die. But is that necessarily true? What are you talking about? There is a way to let the water out without harming the orca, isn't there? Your Honor, please allow me to submit this photograph. Oh, this is. As you can see, there is no water around the Skull Rock area. With the pool in this state, the victim could have been made to fall to his death. However, there is water on the other side of the partition, and Orla looks just fine. Son of a gun. In other words, if the partition is set up on the bottom of the pool, the water can be drained without doing Orla any harm. Are you implying the water could have been drained at a time other than during cleaning? Yes, there is that possibility. Dr. Crab is shaking. Looks like he has something to hide. Could it have had something to do with the calendar note about meeting with the victim? It might. I'll submit it to the judge. Your Honor, please take a look at this calendar. Ah, you waved that around in court yesterday. No need to drag out your souvenir today. Actually, I would like you to make note of the entry for the day of the incident. Let me see here. Meet the captain at the Orca Pool at 7 a.m. This note is about a meeting planned with the victim. What? The defense would like to argue that at the time of that meeting, the pool may have been drained of its water. Whose calendar is that? It belongs to Dr. Herman Crab. Isn't that right, Dr. Crab? Son of a gun. So you suspect me, do you? What is the meaning of this calendar entry, Dr. Crab? Explain yourself. Fine, I was supposed to meet Jack at the Orca pool at that time, but I ended up not going. So you're saying you simply broke your promise? You can't get out of it that easily. I believe you have some explaining to do.
Objection!
Your blade is sharper than I thought, right, Dono? But your cut was shallow, a mere surface scratch. There's a saying amongst prisoners. Do not see, hear, nor speak to smooth-talking lawyers. If you think the witness is suspicious, show your proof. Heck, the calendar alone isn't good enough, huh? I have to prove that the victim could have fallen to his death at that 7 a.m. meeting time. Let's put our heads together, boss. The victim could have fallen during cleaning when the pool was completely drained. Or, using the partition, it could have been at 7 a.m. when the water was partially drained. What would be the major difference in circumstances between these two possibilities? What circumstance was different? The answer could really tell us something. What circumstance was different between the two possibilities of cleaning? Let's see, the pool was half filled. I mean, it would be half filled. The Orca being there would also be a difference. The time of... They're all different. Which one matters?
The Orca being there? Because isn't the cleaning supposed to be until, like, 6 a.m.?
Yeah, and also the Orca being there allows the Orca to save, but look like he's attacking the victim. So maybe there's something... If the murder occurred at the time other than during cleaning, the Orca must have been there. Oh, you're right, and that would mean that Orla witnessed the murder. What's this? You're sheathing your sword so soon. Stop yammering to each other and show me how you wield your sword. Alright then, my sword is poised and ready. If the murder was committed at a time other than during the cleaning time, then Orla must have been present at the scene. If I can prove that the murder happened right in front of Orla, then I can prove that Miss Buckler is not guilty. And we do have proof. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, are you implying that the Orca was a witness to the crime? That is exactly what I'm implying. And? How do you intend to prove the Orca witnessed the murder? What are you going to do, put the Orca on the stand and cross-examine her? This is a critical point. I better think about it carefully. The defense will... present evidence. We have evidence.
Okay.
The defense will present evidence. Evidence that will prove Orla witnessed the murder. You're going to present evidence? Knowing the defense, I thought surely you would try to cross-examine the Orca. I must say I'm a little disappointed. Sorry to get your hopes up, Your Honor. Very well, let's see this evidence then. What evidence shows that the murder took place right in front of the Orca? And it's the same picture, because that's why the blood's on her, because the blood got on her.
Take that!
This photo indicates where we discovered luminol reactions yesterday. By accident, we got some of the luminol testing fluid on Orla. We were then very surprised to see luminol reactions on Orla's body.
Objection!
So what of it? There's nothing odd about that. As was discussed in yesterday's trial, the Orca was bleeding. Traces of the Orca's blood were also found on the skull rock. The Orca must have injured herself when she rammed the rock. So that cloud of blood Mr. Plume saw was from Orla's headbutting the skull rock, was it? Those luminol reactions you saw on the Orca are most likely from her headbutting. But what's odd is the position of those bloodstains. Please take a good look at the photograph. Yesterday, Mr. Plume said the blood disappeared when Orla put on the hat. That testimony indicated that Orla's injuries were under the hat area. However, these luminol reactions are in two entirely separate areas from her injuries. Those bloodstains can't be Orla's own blood from when she was headbutting. Then where did the blood come from? It's my firm belief that it's the victim's blood. The victim was killed right in front of Orla, and the victim's blood splattered onto Orla's body. Gah! Now it finally all makes sense. Orla was a witness to the murder, so that's why. Orla. Boss, something's wrong with Orla. What? You're right, she's liftless and she's sinking. There's one more fact that indicates Orla was a witness to the murder. There's more? The culprit was afraid Orla could somehow reveal what she
They
witnessed.
poisoned her.
And that's why they did what they did. It's the only thing that makes sense. I have to present that evidence. That evidence that proves the culprit that Orla was a dangerous witness. Yep, you are correct. The defense would like to submit this evidence. What's this? It looks like some sort of medicine. It's a sleeping drug, Your Honor, a very powerful one. This sleeping drug was discovered in Orla's... Orla's stomach yesterday. The culprit tried to drown Orla by putting her into a deep sleep. Tried to drown the orca, but why? Right, Dona, are you trying to tell this court that the perpetrator tried to kill the orca off to prevent a witness from talking? Do you really expect to defeat me with that feeble attack? My sword has been drawn. I'm not about to sheathe my evidence now. Orcas have an enormous potential for intelligence. The possibility that Orla could somehow manage to reveal the truth can't be denied. The culprit believed in this possibility, and that's why they tried to kill her. Dr. Herman Crab, you purchased this sleeping drug, didn't you? What? Does this mean the veterinarian tried to do away with the orca? Who but a veterinarian would better know how to disguise an orca's death? He could even prevent the police from examining Orla's body. Why, you... Are you actually accusing me of trying to murder the orca? How dare you? How dare you slander the noble profession of veterinarian? Eek! Eek! My goodness, one could cut the tension in this courtroom with a knife. Keeps kicking a bit. Yes, I admit to purchasing that sleeping drug. However, it was subsequently stolen from my lab. That's such a flimsy excuse. It's the truth. What else can I say? Any one of the crew members could have entered my lab. I guess that weakens my evidence quite a bit. Besides, think about it for a minute. Who was it that treated Orla after she swallowed the drug? It was I. But as I recall, it took you quite a while to give that treatment. You didn't even come on your own. We had to go get you. Son of a gun. You just remember all sorts of little details, don't you, Mr. Lawyer? The orca pool and the lab are far apart. It's little wonder he didn't know what was condition. Didn't know? That's highly doubtful. As far apart as they were, Dr. Crab still had a way to know all about Orla's condition. The defense would like to submit evidence that the witness knew. Okay, there must be this.
Yeah.
Take that!
The torpedo. God, you just had to bring that up, didn't you? Orla's condition.
Objection!
Wait just 1 minute. What is this torpedo?
It's not approved. Used.
Yeah, that too. How dare you bring a weapon of mass destruction into my courtroom? The torpedo, or Tele-Observation Real-Time Pertinent Data Organizer, is a data system. Until yesterday, only Dr. Crab and Mr. Shipley knew about the torpedo. It isn't legally approved in this country, so it was kept secret from the police. It's illegal! Dr. Crab, I demand an explanation. Ah! Look at the penguin! Son of a gun, you and your big mouth, Mr. Lawyer. Yes, it's true. I'm using an illegal system to monitor the creatures at the aquarium. The system uses sensors like these, and yes, there's one in the orca pool too. These sensors send sound waves through the water to gather data on the creatures. If it finds abnormalities in their condition, the torpedo alerts me with a sound. Oh my goodness, how very high-tech. But if it's illegal, I will not turn a blind eye. This matter will be appropriately dealt with at a separate time. Now then, Mr. Wright, please continue. With the torpedo, I'm sure Dr. Crab noticed the danger Orla was in, but he made no attempt to come to her aid on his own. And the reason for that is that Dr. Crab wanted Orla dead. The torpedo didn't give me a warning message. That's why I didn't know there was anything wrong with Orla. The sensor in the orca pool wasn't working during the police's investigation. Can you prove that
Objection!
statement? Heh heh. Heh 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 heh. Heh 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 heh. Ha 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 ha! What's with him? I guess this is also high-tech for Prosecutor Blackwell that it's making him a little funny. Funny? Yes, I find this all very funny. Witness, those sensors send sound waves through the water, correct? But what if there isn't any water? Then they wouldn't work. They would automatically switch off. I see. And where is the sensor in the Orca pool located? I don't know. Jack is the one who attached it for me. You don't know? Then I will tell you. The police found a sensor just like the one you showed us. They found it attached to the table at the bottom of the pool. Table? Do you mean the table in the photograph? That's right. Don't you get it yet, right, Dono? The table is on the Skull Rock side of the partition. It's affixed to the bottom of the pool and can't be moved. Oh, and so if the water was drained from the Skull Rock side of the pool... Precisely. Without water, the torpedo sensor would not work. Witness, when did that sensor automatically switch off? Hang on, I'll look it up. The only times lately were during cleaning 2 days ago and the investigation yesterday. Of course, I knew the pool would be drained while they cleaned it, but I had no idea they drained it for the investigation. No one let me know. That's why I didn't know about Orla's condition yesterday. So Dr. Crab really did want to save Orla? Heh, did you hear that right, Dono? Yes, the water can be drained without harm to the Orca if the partition is used, but if the water is drained from the Skull Rock side, the sensor turns itself off. If the sensor was always on except for during the cleaning and the investigation, it means there must have been water in the pool at all other times. It was never drained. In other words, no one but the defendant could have committed the crime. Ugh. Order in the court. This completely shatters the defense's argument. But... The fact still remains that Orla was nearly killed with Dr. Crab's sleeping drug. But aren't you forgetting one important question? When was the sleeping drug given to the Orca? You're right, this hasn't been discussed yet, has it? The Orca pool is the scene of the murder. The police were there all day yesterday. The only way to give the drug to the Orca undetected is to put it in her food. Yesterday, someone gave the Orca food during the trial. Someone did? I'm afraid I don't remember that. You don't remember? You're not that old yet, are you? It was the defendant, Sasha Buckler. So that is the Orca that stands accused, is it? She's waving her flipper at us. Maybe she's cheering us on. Orla, which Phoenix and Athena look? So your argument is that Miss Buckler is the one who gave the Orca the drug. The prosecution's argument hasn't changed. Buckler made the victim fall to his death and then manipulated the Orca to pin it on her. Still not satisfied, she further planned to kill the Orca with a sleeping drug. I didn't hear any reports of Dr. Crab feeding Orla. Maybe he didn't have a hand in Orla's attempted murder after all. But is there anybody else who could have fed Orla besides Sasha? Marlin? If it's true the defendant is the one who fed the sleeping drug to the Orca, then that places even more suspicion on her than ever. But I don't know what Marlin's motive is. The defense objects to the prosecution's claims. Well, you still haven't admitted defeat? Prosecutor Blackwell, I don't appreciate the way you only mention the parts that are convenient for you. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? The prosecutor failed to mention that Miss Buckler wasn't the only one to feed Orla. As you will all recall, there was another person who gave Orla food. Oh, you mean that person? Looks like Athena remembers now, too. Congrats, Sasha. Time to celebrate. Go on, eat up. Oh, Mr. Wright, no. I don't want to believe it either, but we can't ignore the truth. The other person who... Oh, boy. This is a bit of a twist.
Take that!
What if somebody else spiked it and he didn't know?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Please recall when Orla was found not guilty yesterday. Marlon Rhymes gave the Orca a large quantity of food. If the sleeping drug was mixed in with that food, it could be given to the Orca without arousing police suspicion. Now that you mention it, I do remember that flip-flopper feeding the Orca. So either Dr. Crab had something to do with spiking the food, or Marlon Rhymes is more guilty than he looks. So you remember, did you? I say the time for a huge sword fight has come. I call Marlon Rhymes to the sand. Mr. Lawyer, both Miss Orca Lover and Marlon Rhymes are important members of our crew. I don't want to suspect either of them, but I'm ready to accept whatever truth you find. Here, take this. That charm. It's the charm that matches the one Azura Summers had, isn't it? So you and Miss Summers were romantically involved, were you, Mr. Crab? Dr. Crab? What? No, of course not. Sorry to disappoint you, but this doesn't belong to me. At the time, I thought it was Azura, so I grabbed it. But it wasn't hers. Now it's up to you, Mr. Lawyer, to figure out whose charm it is. What? I will thank you, Dr. Crab. After all, I'm interested in the outcome of this trial, too.
Was Marlon had us hoodwinked? Was that her ex-boyfriend that wanted to kill her for killing his girlfriend?
Yeah. I'm a little surprised because we haven't even really established what his motive would be.
If he's the ex-boyfriend, or the other boyfriend, and he's mad at the Orca for killing her.
Yeah. What if Dr. Krause was so obvious with his little side smile that that was a red herring the whole time?
I don't want to believe that Marlon did anything.
I know! He's such a sweet guy! I enjoy him!
Let's see. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he's innocent.
Maybe
it's the plume, because she wanted to write another story.
Maybe. Is this part of the trial going to get really weird?
I don't know.
We'll see. I haven't been watching the trial and nobody's told me anything. Marlon Rhymes, you are under suspicion for the attempted murder of the Orca. I see. Well, if it's already out... What? Mr. Rhymes, is he really going to admit it? Fine, I'll tell the truth. What? Sasha is lying to protect that Orca. At 3:30 a.m. on the 20th, there was still water in the Orca pool. The incident happened before the Orca was moved to the show pool. Orla killed the captain by bashing him 30 feet high and making him slam into the water.
You know that's not true.
So I thought the Orca should pay the... Well, he did say that he still thought the Orca was dangerous.
Okay.
Now we're back to the Orca again. I did not see that testimony coming. Now wait just 1 minute. Yesterday, Orla was proven innocent. Besides, you said Orla was in the show pool during the cleaning. I didn't want to sell Sasha out. That's why I didn't tell the truth. But the fact is, all three of us, the captain, Sasha, and me, were cleaning the pool room. But Dr. Crab and Miss Buckler both said you were at the show stage. Well, the only thing Dr. Crab knew about the cleaning was what I told him. I didn't give him a whole lot of details either. Maybe he misunderstood. And Sasha is lying to protect the Orca. She can't tell the truth. Sasha put blood on the skull rock herself to make a fake blood stain. I think it's pretty brave of her to let herself get arrested to protect the Orca. Mr. Rhymes, how can you lie like that? It's the truth. Besides, wouldn't it be better for you if I wasn't lying? If the Orca did it, you win your case. What? This is all very hard to believe, but if Mr. Rhymes' story is true, Miss Buckler would be innocent and the Orca would be the killer. Meaning, if we turned our backs on Orla, we could save Sasha. Having a witness lie to save your own client. What a dirty, underhanded tactic, right, Dono? Yesterday, the defense proved Orla was not guilty. We have no intention of going back on our assertions now. What are you saying, Mr. Wright? All you gotta do is admit the Orca did it and Sasha goes free. Isn't a lawyer supposed to act in his client's best interest? What if he didn't try to kill the Orca, he's just still trying to protect Sasha?
I don't know. It's weird.
But that wouldn't be acting in her interest. Miss Buckler believes Orla is innocent, and we, of course, believe that Miss Buckler herself is innocent, too. Acting in the client's best interest is an important part of our job as lawyers. Using dirty means to win a verdict would destroy our client's faith in us. That's right. We believe in both Miss Buckler's and Orla's innocence. Huh? I just don't understand how you can treat a human and an Orca equally. Sasha or the Orca, you can only save one of them.
He's a vegetarian, isn't he? So he treats things equal.
Yeah. Ha ha ha, I don't know about that. I think I can save them both. All I have to do is disprove your testimony. Oh yeah? Then go ahead and try. Wow. I will do just that. If I can't tear down his testimony, I won't be able to save both of them. I had to find a weak spot and start tearing. Okay, I gotta admit, I hope he didn't do anything, but story-wise, I'm kind of digging this little swerve, because I thought this whole thing was just going to be us and Dr. Crab.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go past this, because he's establishing here. So now let's start pressing him. When the victim was killed, how much water was in the pool? It was before the pool was drained for Clayton, so it was full. You went into the Orca pool room and saw this yourself? Dr. Crabbe said that you were at the show stage.
Objection!
But it's possible that Dr. Crabbe was misinformed or that he misunderstood. The witness already explained this. Why are you taking this meaningless tack? If you want to play games, Taka here would be more than happy to play with you. We better be careful how we press the witness. Taka is watching us like a hawk. Witness continue. But is Taka a hawk?
I think so.
Incident.
Hold it!
So you're saying the incident took place before the cleaning began? Yeah, I guess so. The captain, Sasha, and I were going to do the cleaning together. It's much more efficient than trying to have just one person do it alone. In the defense's case, however, more lawyers means simply more lawyers. Nothing more. What? You're one to talk. All you have on your side is a cantankerous bird. What about me? I'm up here all alone. Are you people the witness to keep you focused? For shame, right, Dono? Hey, I was the only one who kept my mouth shut. Anyway, the incident happened in the orca pool before the cleaning got started.
Hold it!
Can an orca even do that? Send a person flying up into the air like that? Yep, of course. I've seen orcas bash and seals 60 feet into the air. So naturally, Orla could do that to the captain, too. What a frightening thought, and you mentioned it so casually, Mr. Rhymes. Well, what else can I say? It's the truth. Mr. Rhymes is claiming that Orla killed the victim by sending him flying into the air. But would something like that even be possible in the orca pool room? There's something about that statement that bothers me. And so you witnessed the moment the victim was killed by the orca, is that right? Exactly. So I think that's a statement we need to contradict.
Hold it!
And that's why you put the sleeping drug in Orla's food. Ahoy! Yo, 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 ho, ho! Sasha could be found guilty if we let her be, but if the orca died, Sasha could go free. I thought if the orca was already dead, Sasha might tell the truth and free herself. It might seem cruel, but a man kill an animal has to be put down. The culprit must have tried to do away with Orla because she was a witness to the crime. But if Mr. Rhymes is the culprit, why would he try to protect Sasha? I'm sensing some very complex emotions from Mr. Rhymes. I need more information before I can do a proper analysis. If I'm going to tear down his testimony, then I guess I have to present evidence. Of course we don't believe Mr. Rhymes' testimony, but he's suggesting the murder took place in the orca pool. Unless we can disprove that, we won't be able to save both Orla and Sasha. So, I have a theory, but this theory is such that I don't want to tell it to you yet. When we're near the end of the case and we know that we know who did what, then I'll tell you what my theory is. So let's see what we got for this. The torpedo data. Doubt it. Azura Summer's boyfriend. We have Rhymes' ladder prints. I don't think that has to do with that quite yet.
What pool were those in?
That was in the show pool. The show stage.
Well, didn't he say it happened all in the other pool?
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
The orca pool. It was before he was moved to the show pool. So no, it's not the show stage one. He's saying the incident happened before the orca was moved to the show pool. That's the show pool. I don't see how he would do it from that picture. I don't know if the picture is actually it, though.
Ceiling to the pool bottom is 100 feet.
Yeah.
So he couldn't have went to the bottom. So if you have 100, I can't math right now. He didn't fall that far.
Yeah, 30 feet high, making him slam. But it says 30 feet high, but yeah, the autopsy says it was a 65-foot fall.
Yeah.
So let's try it.
Objection!
Yeah! When lies are piled on top of each other, contradictions start to emerge. This time is no different. Are you saying there's some kind of inconsistency in my testimony? This guy's played his attorney before. That's exactly what I'm saying. You claim that the victim was sent flying about 30 feet into the air, but the autopsy report shows the apparent cause of death to be from a 65-foot fall. What? Additionally, in your testimony a moment ago, you said at 3:30 a.m. on the 20th there was still water in the Orca pool. With the pool being 65 feet deep, there's only 30 feet between the water and ceiling. If the pool was full of water as you claimed, it would be impossible for the victim to fall about 65 feet, as the autopsy states. Mr. Rhymes claimed he was in the Orca pool room so he could make these statements, but the truth must be he was at the show stage just as Dr. Crab and Sasha testified. I believe that brings us back around to the Orca didn't do it. I didn't believe the witness's testimony from the outset. I am grateful to you, Right Dono, for shutting the witness up, as I thought the only person who could have killed the victim is Sasha Butler. That fact still remains whether the witness was the one who tried to kill the Orca or not. Son of a... Mr. Rhymes was right about one thing. His testimony was advantageous to our case. But pointing out the contradiction in his statement will only drive us into a corner. As Prosecutor Blackwell said, suspicion against Miss Butler is now deepened. Uh-oh, if I don't do something fast, the judge is going to find Sasha guilty. Mr. Wright, is there anything we can do? There has to be a way to prove Sasha is innocent. At a time like this, the thing to do is turn my thinking around. Instead of trying to prove that Sasha couldn't have done it, I have to think about what made it possible for somebody else to have done it. As long as the crime scene is the Orca pool room, then Sasha is the only one who could have committed the crime. No need for pity, your baldness, just finish them off with a swift verdict. It appears the defense has no objections. Very well, I will give my verdict. Your Honor, please hold off on that verdict. But you were so quiet, Mr. Wright. Do you have anything to say now? Well, you have something to say now. The defense has a counter-argument. You do? Pitiful, such desperation. You look pale. Are you sure you're prepared to make this counter-argument? The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. I'll never forget those words no matter how many years go by. Even though it's probably just a bluff, I'll give it to them with a smile. What if the scene of the crime was somewhere else? The scene of the crime? Somewhere else? What? You're finding fault with the police investigation now. As I understand it, the prosecution's argument is as follows. The scene of the crime was the Orca pool room. Only the defendant and victim entered that room when there was no water in the pool. Therefore, only the defendant could have committed the crime. That is correct. But if the scene of the crime was not the Orca pool room, then somebody other than the defendant could have committed the crime. Are you sure you know where you're going with this? I might not be too sure, but I can't back down now. Mr. Wright, I hope that I'm wrong, but this isn't one of your bluffs by any chance. Ha ha ha, of course not! The judge knows me far too well. And do you have a theory on where the actual scene of the crime was? Yes, of course. Think, Phoenix, think. Think of a place other than the Orca pool room where one could fall to one's death. Then by all means, please share your theory with the court. Where was the real scene of the murder? I mean, I'm guessing the show pool area? This, maybe? The ship? Ooh, maybe it's the ship.
Take that!
This was the actual scene of the murder. It's not. Really? Do you actually believe the victim was killed there? Well, when you put it like that, my response would have to be a definite maybe. In that case, you will definitely be getting a penalty. No maybe about it. Ack. This time I promise to point out the true scene of the murder, Your Honor. You sound very sure of yourself for a man who just received a penalty. I hope you're right this time. Where was the real scene of the murder? Is it just the show pool?
Take that!
Show pool.
The show stage pool might have been drained of water at some point as well. And if so, it would be just as possible to fall to one's death there as the Orca pool. Right, Dono, what you're doing is a disgrace to your profession. I sincerely hope you have some basis for what you're suggesting. Of course I do. I will as soon as I think of something. The victim's body was found in the Orca pool. How do you explain that?
Objection!
How about if, after the victim was killed in the show stage pool, his body was moved to the Orca pool? How about if? What kind of presentation of your argument is that? You had better have a reasonable explanation of how the body was moved. There's no turning back now. I have to think of a way the body could have been moved.
The hoist.
Yep. Has to be.
Take that!
The hoist runs between the Orca pool room and the show stage. The stretcher can be hung from the hoist to move things like Orla or the skull rock. The stretcher could also have been used to move the dead body. Yes, if the stretcher can move the Orca or the skull rock, it seems likely it could also move a dead body as well. Wow, somehow that worked. I just might be able to pull this off. If the show pool was the scene of the crime, somebody else could have
Objection!
You desperately spew conjecture, and now you even make up a crime scene. There we go! Eek! Not again! You don't have the soul of a warrior, you don't deserve to be on the battlefield. And even your fabrication is half-baked. It's a disgrace. What do you mean, half-baked? The hoist can be operated from the Orca pool room only. Gah. And the only person who entered the Orca pool room was the defendant. So even if the body was moved, the only one who could have moved it was the defendant herself. Arrgh. Order, so it comes back to the defendant no matter which pool it was. Meaning I can't clear Sasha either way? Sasha said she moved Orla into Skull Rock, and I believe her. So could it be possible that she moved the body herself without being aware of it? Because it was in the Skull Rock, that's why he was bashing it. Mr. Wright, do you have an objection to Prosecutor Blackwell's claim? Do I have an objection? Yes. The defense has an objection. Alright, fine, let's hear this objection then. Well, my objection is, I can't admit I hadn't thought of one. Mr. Wright, you just felt like saying you had an objection, didn't you? Yes, Your Honor. Really? Well, I just feel like giving you a penalty. So there's no objection. Okay. The hoist can only be operated from the Orca pool room. Furthermore, the defendant is the only one who entered the Orca pool room. Therefore, the defendant is the only one who could have moved the body. There are no inconsistencies in Prosecutor Blackwell's claim itself, but the only thing Sasha moved was Orla in the Skull Rock. So that must mean Sasha moved the body. I don't see any problems with Prosecutor Blackwell's claim, per se. Miss Buckler must have been the one who moved the body. What? Mr. Wright, are you admitting the defendant committed the murder? No, I'm simply conceding that she was the only one who could have moved the body. However, I contend Miss Buckler was not aware that that is what she was doing. The culprit made her move it unbeknownst to her. The defendant moved a dead body without recognizing that it was a dead body? How could that be possible? The body was found in the Orca pool. It must have been moved there somehow. I might find some kind of hint in the things she moved with the stretcher. The culprit made Miss Buckler move the body along with this piece of evidence. Yeah. That's why she was bashing it over.
Take that!
The Skull Rock. Miss Buckler told me yesterday that she moved the Skull Rock when she was cleaning. The only two things Miss Buckler moved to the Orca pool are Orla and the Skull Rock. I would like to suggest that the victim's body may have been inside the Skull Rock. What? Hidden inside the rock, the body could have been moved to the Orca pool with the hoist. At the show stage, Marlon Rhymes loaded up the Skull Rock with the body inside, and then he used the walkie-talkie to let Miss Buckler know the rock was loaded. Miss Buckler operated the hoist from the Orca pool room and moved the stretcher. She moved the rock without knowing the body was inside. Do you really think there's enough space inside the Skull Rock to place a body? The Swashbuckler flyer indicates it could be possible. Please focus on the question at the bottom left. Oh, it says, who will obtain the gold coins hidden in the Skull Rock? In that case, I suppose the rock is most likely hollow. What's more, if the body was inside the Skull Rock, it explains the remaining unanswered questions, such as, why he was hidden. Yeah, please take a look at the security footage of the scene Mr. Plume witnessed. Where did the body that Mr. Plume saw come from? Please recall, what was Orla doing to the Skull Rock at this time? She was headbutting it. Oh! That's right, Orla's ramming released the body from the Skull Rock. The body had been placed inside the skull rock and moved there from the show stage. I assert that the real murder scene was in fact the show pool stage. Show stage pool. What rubbish is this now? You don't have a single scrap of evidence. Just presented it all. It's easy enough to verify what I say. Take a look inside the skull rock for yourself. You should find some kind of proof that the body was there. Blood, fibers, hair. Ah, right, dono. Mr. Wright, that was incredible. You turned things completely around. And to think, it all started with that half-baked bluff, too. Phew, that was a close one. Did you really have to add that last bit? If the murder took place at the show stage, then who is the perpetrator? It is naturally the person who was at the show stage. Mr. Rhymes, weren't you the one who loaded the skull rock onto the stretcher at the show stage? Heh. Wow, Mr. Wright, that was some pretty smart brain work you did there. To be honest, I never thought you could figure it out. I tried to protect myself, but I guess it came back to bite me. Are you confessing you gave false testimony before, Mr. Rhymes? That's perjury. Yeah, what Mr. Wright says is true. The body was inside the skull rock, and it's true that the captain was killed in the show pool, too. What? He's admitting it that easily? This time I'm going to tell you the whole truth about what happened that day. In the show pool, the orca shot the captain up into the air. Then the captain came down and slammed into the water. I can still remember the spectator screams clearly. All Sasha did was move the body. She was trying to protect the orca. When Mr. Plume witnessed the orca finding the body, I freaked. So now we're back to the orca again, I see. If you were going to give testimony like that, why did I bother putting you on the stand? All I'm doing is telling the truth. That day, Sasha wanted to do the old version of the Swashbuckler Spectacular, so I suggested she hide the body in the skull rock and move it to the orca pool. I was going to figure out what to do with the body after the show was over. The orca is the one that killed the captain. It wasn't me and it wasn't Sasha. So it was Mr. Rhymes' idea to hide the body in the skull rock. But if Mr. Rhymes is the culprit, why would he protect Sasha? False charges against Sasha would mean he himself would escape suspicion, so why? Mr. Wright, how about if you leave this to me? Athena, do you mean you heard something? Yep, noise, discord in Mr. Rhymes' heart. So that means somewhere in his testimony, there's an inconsistency to his emotions. All right, Athena, give him a good counseling session. You got it, boss. All right, let's see if we can figure it out. Huh, what's this? What are you getting, Athena? This testimony is pretty complex. Feelings of deep sadness and intense anger are being called up. Those two emotions appear to be running out of control. Out of control emotions? Is that going to be a problem? We'll have to probe their cause if we want to get his true emotions in testimony. There might even be odd or unnatural spots in his testimony he isn't even aware of. Alright, let's probe for the cause of this out of control emotion then. I'll explain how to probe. Let's find the root cause together. When you see something off in a statement, press probe. Next, point to what's causing Mr. Rhymes out of control's emotions. Finally, press probe to complete the process. When emotions are out of control, memories can be recalled incorrectly. If you still haven't found anything after all the statements and images, I'll help. Great, alright, I'll get started comparing the statements with the images. Okay, so if the statements don't match the images, probe. Well, I think they're supposed to be... When you see something off in a statement, press probe. Next, point to what's causing Mr. Rhymes out of control emotions. Finally, press probe to complete the process. Well, let's see... I can still remember the spectator screams clearly. All Sasha did was move the body. She was trying to protect the orca. When Mr. Plume witnessed the orca finding the body, I freaked. Huh. So I'm supposed to show in the picture what's causing the emotion. Maybe it's the fact that she saw something? I don't know. Doesn't seem like. That doesn't appear to be the cause of his out-of-control emotions. What could be the cause of his out-of-control sadness and anger? It'd be hard to find them both at the same time. Let's concentrate on probing just one. He did make one odd statement I was wondering about. I highly doubt there were any spectators at the scene of the crime. That is true.
It hadn't opened yet.
Yeah. And wouldn't that have been news itself? Like,
yeah. I was wondering about that, but I was like, I must have missed something.
Yeah. I'll explain how to probe one more time. No, I know how to probe. I doubt there were any spectators there at the show stage when the owner died. If there had been, those witnesses would have told us the true crime scene right away. What? Oh, right, of course, I just made a mistake. Okay, that made the sadness subside. So maybe the spectators part of what was making him sad? I wonder why he would make that mistake, saying spectators were there. How strange. The only thing I can think of is that he was mixing up one memory with another.
He's mixing up the girlfriend dying.
Oh. Like he was in a similar situation before and it was deeply imprinted on his heart. A situation where an orca killed somebody and there were spectators there. Hey, I think I know why he's mixing up his memories.
Take that!
Mr. Rhymes, I think I know what happened. Could you have been mixing up what happened a year ago with this incident? Maybe that's why you slipped and said the owner was killed in front of spectators? What? How did you... You're right, I did see the orca kill somebody a year ago. But what about it? I was just one of those spectators. Really? Just another spectator? There must be a reason why you feel great sadness about that incident.
Silence!
Stop this nonsensical scrutiny of feelings. Just present evidence to prove your point. Eep, boss, do we have any kind of evidence that would back us up here? There is one piece of evidence that comes to mind that might explain his sadness. Yeah, I think I know. I'm waiting. Let's see the evidence that has to do with Marlon Rhymes. I think it's this.
The charm.
Yeah.
Take that!
Azura Summers died an accidental death 1 year ago. This is her boyfriend's charm. Hey, what are you doing with that charm? It was found in Rifle's stomach yesterday. Judging by your reaction, I believe this charm belongs to you? I guess I need to push him just a little harder to make him admit it. When Mr. Rhymes said the word charm, he was very rattled. We better examine this charm a little more. Good idea, let's look inside it. Huh? What's this, a photograph? Okay, well, there we go. Hey, this is Azura Summers and Marlon Rhymes. So it wasn't Dr. Krabs. Mr. Rhymes, you and Azura Summers were a couple, weren't you? So what if we were a couple? It doesn't have anything to do with the captain's case. You believe you saw the orca kill your girlfriend. That's the cause of your sadness. Isn't that the emotion of yours connected to the current case? I got a few more minutes, so...
Silence!
The only thing you revealed was the witness's connection to the victim of last year's incident. What does the witness's past have to do with the case at hand? I don't know yet, but we managed to pinpoint the source of his sadness. Now let's delve into who Mr. Rhymes is angry at. Well...
Got it!
Directed at that. Let's think about who he was really angry at and why. The orca?
The orca or the plume?
Yeah.
If the plume saw it.
Got it!
See, I thought he was mad that she was trying to protect the orca since he seems to not like the orca. Mr. Rhymes, you're angry with Orla, aren't you? Angry at an orca? Why would I be? If you think I have some reason to be mad, then show me your proof. Do I have proof that Mr. Rhymes has a reason to be mad? Yeah, girlfriend was killed by the orca. That evidence we just took a look at would come in handy here. This charm indicates that you were Azura Summer's boyfriend. I'm sure you believe Orla killed your girlfriend a year ago. You lost your girlfriend, so you've been angry at Orla. Alright, I'll admit it. I'll never forgive that orca. Azura is dead and that orca is still swimming around happy as a clam. I became an animal keeper just so I could prove that orca is a killer. You're right. I want that orca to pay. There. Do you feel good dragging up a person's past? But it still doesn't change anything. He's right. I disagree. It does change things. His out-of-control emotion quieted down. Now we should be able to find out the truth behind that emotion. Let's see. The truth behind that emotion. So either the sadness or the anger doesn't make sense. The sadness goes up, but that makes sense. He's thinking about it. Well, here his sadness goes up with the captain. So let's Now I think I'm wrong again. When we viewed your emotions alongside your testimony, we found the unexpected emotion. Wait a minute, there really isn't anything strange here. I don't know, but I think maybe we made a mistake, Mr. Wright. I think maybe you're right. Let's take another look. There must be an unexpected emotion here somewhere. So... I mean, it would make sense for him to be angry at... and sad at everything that happened. Should he still be angry and sad about Sasha?
Well, I would think so, because she's protecting the orca. The anger that... Well, probably the anger with the Plume, because the Plume actually thinks that everything happened the way she saw it. You shouldn't be angry at her, right?
Suppose.
Just kidding.
You're a great jokester. Maybe it's this. Maybe he's angry that she protected the orca. Although, I don't know, the music hasn't stopped yet. Let's see.
Maybe he shouldn't be sad when the Plume finds the body.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's... No.
I'm so confused.
Maybe he shouldn't be sad when she's hiding it? I feel like we're just throwing everything at the wall, but I want to feel at least like I somewhat had an idea. Maybe he shouldn't be angry yet? Nope. Maybe he shouldn't be sad yet? I feel bad that I'm doing it this way. I'm glad I'm just not getting penalized for this. I wonder if I'm gonna feel stupid when I see what it is.
We probably will.
Okay.
So you try both of those now?
Yep. This is it. feel like I've done everything except the sad face on this one.
Got it.
Wasn't that everything?
Got it.
Holy smokes.
I think it's the sadness. There.
Let's try the sadness. Maybe we didn't do that yet.
Got it.
I'm at a loss here.
Yeah, what exactly... Didn't I just do every single one? Did one of the other emotions go off and I didn't see it? Didn't I just do all of this?
I thought so.
Maybe it's the fact that he's not shocked? When Mr. Plume witnessed the orca finding the body, you freaked, really? Okay. Maybe I should have seen that. What are you getting at? When Mr. Plume was a witness, Orla was guaranteed to be accused of murder. Didn't it work out exactly as you'd hoped? In order to have Orla put down, you made sure Mr. Plume witnessed the scene. So you figured all that out, did you? Mr. Rhymes, are you admitting it? I didn't really want to have to fight anybody but the orca, but you leave me no choice.
Trigger, what are you doing?
Is he drinking grape juice or something? Which is Apollo Justice's version of...
What?
Did you just change it to Ryu? Now it's time to get serious. Ahoy, what? Yo, 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 ho, ho. Ahoy, me meat brothers represent. Avast, you grass eaters, stay free. Take me words and pop them in your mouth. Scurvy grass eaters kneel. Yo, 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 ho, ho. Bro, I'm ready for the showdown. Whoa, what is going on? Where did this pirate fellow come from? For once, the judge is the most sensible. That's exactly what I'm wondering. He looks like a completely different person. Order. If we don't have order, Prosecutor Blackwell will yell at us. Even Prosecutor Blackwell is at a loss for words. So I plan to have that wench be a witness? Heh arrgh, you caught me out. It be true, I thought the orca's murderous ways should be found out. That be why I schemed to have the plume see the body. So you admit it, you deliberately framed Orla. Arrgh, it be true, but what skin be that off of anybody's nose? That orca be a murrin' scurry dog. I may have a grudge against the orca, but I always felt grateful toward the captain. The orca murdered Zora and the captain, so of course she should walk the plank. Gah, I don't have a response to that. I agree, it wouldn't make any sense for him to kill the owner. Why would he? But his hatred for Orla, on the other hand, comes through loud and clear. Wait a minute. If killing Mr. Shipley doesn't make sense, who would it make sense for Rhymes to kill? Maybe my theory has been all wrong. What? Your Honor, I think I just became aware of a new fact. Oh, and what is that? Now that we know of Mr. Rhymes' intense hatred of Orla, it turns the premise we've been arguing under on its ear. I will now reveal the identity of the individual Mr. Rhymes meant to kill from the start. Was he
Trying to
kill Sasha? That seems out of character.
Why would he try to kill her?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like doing what he did would kill Herman Crab. No, there's no way. This is the one the witness meant to kill from the start. Really, but why? Well, because, one can only wonder. Okay, so it wasn't...
Is it Crab? Because Crab was friends with his girlfriend? I don't know.
Who did Mr. Rhymes bear a grudge against? There's only one answer. Against the orca.
Yeah.
Take that!
What? So the witness's intent was to kill the orca? Exactly, the witness's intended victim was not Jack Shipley. From the start, it was all a scheme to kill Orla. The Orca was his true target, but Jack Shipley is the one who died. The Orca is alive and quite well. He's right. He wanted to kill the Orca, and yet it was Jack Shipley who fell to his death. How did that happen? Wait a minute, what if? What if Mr. Rhymes wanted to kill Orca was somehow connected to Mr. Shipley's death? At a loss for words, are you? What happened to your bravado a moment ago? Enough of these reckless words without any basis in fact. They aren't reckless words. The basis for my claim is at the real murder scene, the show pool. What are you talking about? It's my contention that two incidents happened at the show pool. The attempted murder of the Orca and the victim falling to his death. First of all, in order to kill the Orca, Mr. Rhymes removed something from the scene. And by doing so, he made it possible for Mr. Shipley to fall to his death. He did what now? Mr. Wright, what did Mr. Rhymes remove in an attempt to kill Orla? The water!
Take that!
Don't tell me you're trying to claim he tried to kill the Orca by draining the pool water. That's exactly what I'm claiming. To help the defendant with the cleaning, Marlon Rhymes took charge of Orla, with a plan to kill Orla in the show pool. And because the pool water was drained, it made it possible for Jack Shipley to fall to his death in the show pool. That does make sense. So this must be Marlon Rhymes. I tried to kill the Orca, you say? Can ye even prove there was nary a drop of water in the pool? That day I was simply looking after the Orca. Why would I have the monstrous thought of killing it?
Objection!
You claim you were looking after Orla in the early morning hours of July 20th, but I don't think you were doing a very good job of it. After all, Orla wasn't given anything to eat during that time. How would you know such a thing? I know because of Orla's record here in the torpedo data system. This system continuously records data on the subjects it monitors. From Orla's record, we can tell exactly when she ate or didn't eat. Sink me, nobody ever told me about that dastardly contraption. Only a few of the shipshape aquarium staff know about this system. According to Orla's record, she never ate in those early morning hours of the 20th. You planned to kill Orla, and that's why you didn't feed her.
Silence!
You're wasting time. What proof do you have of that? Perhaps the Orca simply wasn't hungry. He's right. I don't have any proof. If Orla simply didn't eat, then that would create an inconsistency. Where did her fish go? Her fish? Good question. Where did it disappear to? Fish? What does it matter? What relevance does it have to the case? Cease this stalling with inconsequential questions. Stop delving into the depths of the Orca's stomach and delve into the case instead. But wait, it may seem like a small inconsistency, but it's an issue of great importance, I think. What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? How could the fish disappear? Somebody must have eaten it. Yeah, I gotta go soon. So, who came to the show stage and ate Orla's fish?
Rifle.
I think I might have a pretty good idea. I believe there must have been a visitor to the show stage that Mr. Rhymes didn't notice. Visitor? Are you trying to introduce yet another suspect at this 11th hour? If you utter more of your careless remarks, Taka won't look favorably upon it. I don't plan to utter any careless remarks. Whether my remarks will actually be related to the case or not yet, I don't know. Don't worry, boss. If Taka comes this way, I'll fend him off. But do try to keep your remarks careful. Somehow Orla's fish disappeared. Somebody must have visited the show stage, but who? The penguin that got lost. I believe Rifle the Penguin visited the show stage. First an Orca, now a penguin? Why would ye be saying such a thing, Mr. Lawyer? I didn't see Rifle during the wee early morning hours. Do ye have any proof Rifle visited the show stage? Yes! If ye be a lawyer of any sort, show me your evidence. Alright, we're gonna present the walkie-talkie, read a little bit, and then I gotta go. The bottom of Rifle's feet were pink for some reason. That fact is a clue that Rifle was indeed at the show stage. I had to present that piece of evidence that connects Rifle to the show stage. Oh, the show stage!
Sorry.
Okay. And you even said it looked like Prince.
Yeah.
Take that!
Look at you. Oh my, what a cute little sign. Look at all those adorable stars. Those stars are actually starfish. Miss Buckler painted this sign. In the early morning hours of the 20th, she left this sign of the show stage to dry. Mr. Rhymes kept an eye on the sign for Miss Buckler while the paint was drying. Aye, that be true, but what be your point? On this sign is proof that Rifle visited the show stage. Proof of the penguin's visit? I'm afraid I don't see it.
Take that!
A couple of the pink starfish are shaped a little differently from the others. Ah, you're right, they almost look like leaves. Rifle had pink paint on the bottom of her feet. Those little leaf-like shapes on this sign are actually Rifle's footprints. Rifle made those footprints by walking on the sign before it was dry. Ho ho, what cute little pink penguin prints. So there are footprints, what of them? Marlon Rhymes was watching over the sign of the show stage while the paint dried, and during that time the penguin paid a visit. According to the Torpedo data system, we know that Rifle ate something that morning of the 20th. Most likely, Rifle ate the fish meant for Orla that was at the show stage. Okay, with that, we'll save. I'm actually really intrigued. I wish I had more time. We'll have to sneak in a session before Wednesday or something, like, because I know we all got to work and stuff. But yes.
Okay.
All right, we'll sneak in a session.